Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with a dev response special. I've gone through all of the recent forum and Spectrum posts from CIG's devs and compiled relevant ones here, answering various development questions. Let's just jump straight in with a sort of questions and answers style. Do developers actually read and respond to anything on Spectrum anymore? Yogi Klatt, Star Citizen's principal vehicle programmer, responded to this. There is a dev tracker on the RSI pages where you can see when devs post something, and this is usually quite active. In general, though, we devs are not required to reply here, and the volume of questions would be too high to handle anyway. We also avoid spending time replying to things which have already been answered in the past, either in Spectrum or parts of Jared's videos. There was a question basically asking, are the words of devs from CIG talking on Reddit and Spectrum actually representing CIG's ultimate word on something, or is it just their personal opinions? The original poster basically talks about Yogi Klatt replying to a user saying that often things change in development, and just because a dev has said something doesn't mean that they're the ultimate authority, or a post is the ultimate authority. This can be true of dev blogs, videos, posts. The original poster wanted clarification on what is CIG's stance on these sort of posts and devs responding. Yogi Klatt responded directly to this. Everything that any developer says here, talking about Spectrum, except for rare cases when executives like Chris Roberts make their appearance, should be regarded as it is a developer talking about their work. We only talk from within our small dev boxes. If you ask me what CIG's stance is now, you are practically pulling me across all other boxes we have. I cannot ever speak for other departments or CIG in general. I only speak as a developer in my own box. Now, for specifically stuff that I'm involved in, like space combat, etc., I will remain on what I said before, but that does not mean that the overall vision for the game has changed. We are still making the same game, we still want the same feeling in it. The exact details how to get there, though, constantly change. Again, this is why we have disclaimers, but that is just the normal engineering process. I think that sort of just makes sense, right? That devs talking on Spectrum or whatever, that's the devs' point of view, informed by the work that they are doing. There was another Spectrum post. Master Mode's Squadron battle is way overdue. You've already got players flying as teams in Free Fly. We need Squadron battles ASAP. Battle Royale can die where the sun doesn't shine, in my opinion. Obviously, Master Modes are being tested in the Arena Commander experimental modes, and actually I totally agree with this person here. It would be great to actually get some Master Modes Battle Royale. The DJ Button, who is the lead gameplay programmer for Arena Commander at CIG, responded, Master Modes Squadron Battle will feature in Alpha 3.22 with an increased selection of ships and multi-crew. That is awesome. That's a lot of cool stuff for Master Modes to be tested with. Another thread, Arena Commander Free Flight suggestion. There's a party system in Free Fly, but there's no markers. Can this be added? Would help for training and be more realistic to what you actually get with the persistent universe. Again, the DJ Button CIG responded, we're working on improving player markers in Arena Commander right now. I'll see if we can squeeze this into that. For other modes, we won't likely show party markers, as this is a separate grouping system that Arena Commander does not necessarily care about, because party markers can be here, there, and everywhere. PU, front end, your team, the enemy team. However, we do want to show your squad members and possibly your team members in team modes, but for free flight, I think showing party markers would make sense. Another thread, CIG, please add another team tank battle period to Arena Commander testing schedule. The DJ Button responded, we'll be releasing an updated schedule as we get closer to 3.22's release. You'll be seeing more tanks, do not worry. Why can't we choose a map in Arena Commander? The original poster here being annoyed that they couldn't select a map when they're playing with their friends online. The DJ Button responded, with the Arena Commander 3.20 update, we experimented allowing map selection in online play during Evocati and early PTU. We learned that the current matchmaker takes the selection as more of a preference, which it only takes into consideration if there are 0 matches active. The matchmaker will always try to put you into a match that requires more players. Perhaps when we update our matchmaker, we'll explore this option again. Good news though, custom lobbies, aka private lobbies, will come with the option to select map, which will help instances like yours. Should note that map selection is enabled for offline play at the moment, so you can actually try out any map you want in solo mode currently, as it's offline. It doesn't allow you to do it as a private lobby properly, which is a little annoying, but soon. Follow-up suggestion: a map vote at the end of each match that excludes the map just played would be great as a feature, and change up the maps that people play. So again, this received a response. For Alpha 3.21, we added a change to match cycling, which makes it very rare for you to match into the same map as you were just in. The only case that will happen now is if there's another match active in that map that requires more players, otherwise it will find you a new map. And yes, we'd love a map vote too. This is basically just blocked until we get the new matchmaker. Questions about the new recoil system for FPS weapons. Why does the laser rifle and machine gun have recoil? It's not like it shoots anything with significant mass, and it's not a plasma weapon. We have plasma weapons, they're a separate category. So why? Zeprise, ground combat system designer at CIG, responded, there is an in-world lore reason and response I can give you, but guns without recoil are not fun. There was then another comment on the thread responding to Zeprise saying, Quake lightning gun and railgun would like to have a word, no recoil can easily be balanced by range and damage. Blanket saying no recoil isn't fun is actually pretty concerning, because it means all your weapon designs are going to follow the same strategy. That seems incredibly limiting in a futuristic environment. Zeprise responded again to this: Quake is an arena shooter, not a grounded FPS game. The skill in Quake is tracking a high movement target, as well as weapons have vastly different power levels because of how they are acquired. Ignoring all the other contexts to what make these weapons work in their respective games is disingenuous. Fidelity has gone a lot further since Quake, and to have a weapon stationary whilst firing makes it look broken and uninteresting. This is an apple and oranges comparison. I mostly agree with Zeprise there. I don't think that they're going to entirely remove the possibility of some guns having very low recoil. Then maybe there are going to be lightning arc and welding guns. I mean, the mining laser doesn't really have recoil, right? I do love me some Quake 3 though. We move on to our last topic. There was a thread going over rivers and the details of Hallstrom curves, the relationship of river velocity versus rock particle size. It also talked about realistic erosion and depositational features and how rivers can be taken to the next level. Figwig from the Planet team at CIG responded, thank you for your detailed write-up, this is awesome. I'm on the Planet Tech team and I did the river system you see in Star Citizen. We're currently planning some Planet Tech upgrades for the next year or so, and I think we should be able to use these concepts once we're done. You're absolutely right that we don't do anything right with our rock particle size in relation to rivers. They're scattered fairly evenly at all positions. This is due to some of our scattering logic just not being set up to deal with geology very well. We actually treat vegetation and geology as one and the same. Very bad. The new system we're working on entirely separates geology and vegetation, and we'll be mapping out bedrock aggregate size according to erosion parameters. This will allow us to make far more realistic decisions when it comes to which rocks go where. You can bet I'll be referring back to this post when adapting the river spawning code to work with the new spawning system. Now, with all of those posts, I will link them down below. I do really love it that Cloud Imperium devs actively respond to a lot of player questions. I mean, there are lots and lots of questions on Spectrum all the time. Loads of these have been answered previously, as was mentioned earlier, so devs don't always go back and answer all those questions, and there's just far too many for them to answer in totality, and things always change as well, which is an interesting one. But I just love the fact that devs are pretty interactive. Boom! That's it for your dev response stuff today, and I'm really interested to know what your points of view are on this. Have you ever had a dev respond directly to you or one of your questions? Do you feel that the devs should be more active? Do you think that a lot of the development information that we get from devs now, or even from Cloud Imperium in general, is semi-irrelevant because there's only going to be a snapshot of what's happening at the time, and it's going to change quite drastically in the future? Are you looking forward to more realistic terrain features and rivers? And do you even prefer something like that to be looking more realistic? Or do you go, actually, if it kind of looks good, it doesn't need to be realistic. I'm happy with more gamified product with a lot of this stuff. Whatever your thoughts or questions, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Ho ho ho, it's me, Father Nordmus. That's right, it's that time again to see who's on my naughty list for who doesn't have a VPN.
No, that's Northern Claus!
Grass from Northern Claus, Timmy. You should be scared of not having a VPN. As you know, Father Nordmus punishes all that disobey him. It's the perfect Nordmus present, Timmy. There's no excuse. I can see all of your website history, and I'm going to sell all of your data, Tim.
NordVPN helps protect your online activity, gives you greater accessibility to the content you want by changing your location, and much, much more. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer before Das Northern Claus finds you. Every month we have a Star Citizenship giveaway. For December, we are giving away a Drake Corsair. It's the winner of the 2953 Ship Showdown and one of the stars of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. This fantastic multi-role, multi-crew, long-range mission runner can do a bit of everything in-game, and it has a penchant for exploration. Just comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. There are further details in the description below. A big thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel via Patreon or the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member. It will net you some exclusive content from Zin and I, but also it really does help us to be able to create daily Star Citizen content, as does sharing these videos and commenting. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.